What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions, and I let you guys down today. So I was down a little bit under $200. Again, a goal is something to work towards, not something that you necessarily have to hit every single day. And today was different. I didn't let you guys down because, first of all, I had a red day. Red days are inevitable. They're bound to happen. I feel like I did my part in keeping it small. Though I was only down $200, I thought I saw another opportunity. And I just kept digging myself in a bigger hole on TQs because overall market direction began to change. I think you guys all saw that. NASDAQ, S&P 500, Dow Jones, all of it pulled back. I did well with SQs. Obviously, as SQs goes up, as TQs goes down, or the overall market goes down. It's about $6,000 that I still have open. I don't normally swing trade anything. And I'm sorry, there's no excuse that I have. It's just I should have been more attentive. I had a couple of meetings, I did a couple podcasts, and I wasn't paying attention to how many shares I had. So I left 75 shares open. What I want to talk about today is kind of the headline. It should not be a surprise. When it comes down to /NQ, this is NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ future. And as you guys can see, yesterday we hit 180-day highs. And today we pulled back. Now, what I want to share with you is it should not be a surprise that we pulled back. There's a difference from a pullback, and there's a big difference from an overall sell-off. We are still trading above the SMA line. We are still making higher highs, higher lows. There's still no breakout pattern. And does a pullback suck? Well, it does if you're on the other side, right? So yes, I made a couple mistakes today. It happens. But I wanted to share what I've been able to pick up on. So one of the first things is, why did the market pull back today? And I think the news was just too focused on the overall idea of concerns when it comes down to COVID, right? Dow Jones, S&P 500, and all of that began to pull back today. Also, I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday, but a series of number of different states, huge states, right? Texas, Florida, a bunch of different states just reaching record levels when it comes down to COVID cases. Guys, things are getting bad. Things are getting worse. And this is bringing a lot of uncertainty. This is the overall coronavirus cases. Again, all new cases of all time in the United States. And you guys can see overall highs are nearly 36,000 cases. And this was on April 24th, right? Yesterday, we were at 33,315. That's not that far off. We are pretty close to, again, in a sense, 180-day highs when it comes down to COVID cases. And this is kind of scary because what follows after there's an increase of cases? Most likely an increase of deaths. And this is kind of the scary part, right? So the reason that I'm sharing this with you is, please don't even just stop here. Make sure that you do your own due diligence. But it's nice to see that the market pulled back a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's all part of the game. You guys can see that it has a very consistent pattern of healthy ups, downs, ups, downs, up, downs. It's just part of the game, right? But what I want to talk about is if it continues to get worse, especially with certain industries and how they can be negatively affected. And I uploaded a video last week talking about American Airlines. And American Airlines was right around $16. So was Boeing, right? Boeing was at a price point where it made sense that it could bounce and continue to push and make new highs. And everyone thought that, okay, the COVID news and all of that is all done and we're only going up from here. But if you really think about it, nothing has changed. Nothing has gotten better. If anything, things have gotten worse. There are more cases now, there's more uncertainty, and there's still no vaccine. So as you guys can see, it went from trading at $17, this was about a week ago, all the way down to lows of 13, right? During the pre-market or aftermarket session, it went sub 13. So now we're approaching the SMA line. We're testing to see if this is going to be a support. We'll see. Technicals, again, are to be used as a reference, never to be a sole reason on why you take a trade, especially when so much fundamentals are on the line, right? There's a lot of uncertainty. And this whole video is just for exposure purposes. And what I mean by that is I want you to be aware. I do agree. A lot of people are looking at these different airlines. They see the upside potential. Wow, that looks very attractive. 15, 30%, 40%, depending on which one it is that you're paying attention to. Same thing with the cruise line industry, right? These are all dropping. Overall market dropped today, but the ones that are actually seeing a consistent negative influence are the industries that are taking a big hit, which are airlines and cruise lines, right? We've talked about JetBlue as well. And again, big drop. We've talked about Spirit Airlines and every other airline out there, right? It's so important for you guys to understand that as of right now, I want you to be aware of the news. because if we do begin to see a recovery, great, set your alerts and you can follow up with it, right? The potential and the upside is there. But I also want you to be aware of the risk involved. And I just want to do my part and not just hyping up and talking about all the profit that anyone can make. Again, profit is the easy part. Anyone can make money. It's how you manage your risk and the overall effectiveness behind your entry points. You want to make sure, at least in my experience, it's much easier to make money when you put your money in something that is showing signs of growth. And right now, the airline and the cruise line industry are doing the exact opposite. And as COVID cases continue to get worse, ask yourself, do you think people will be as confident to travel through airlines? Or do you think that this can have a continuous negative influence and negative impact on the airline and cruise line industry? That's all I wanted to share with you. I wanted you to be aware of, yes, I do agree, American Airlines and a lot of other airlines are very oversold. They've been downtrending. They've given back a good amount of margin that leaves a lot of upside. But again, don't think that just because something's sold off, it has to recover. Just do your part in staying informed and understanding why they're dropping. So I did want to talk about it. I did want to talk about the potential, but I also did want to talk about the risk involved. And is it possible that it breaks below the SMA line and heads to 180-day lows, right? American Airlines is just one example, but when it comes down to Boeing, right? When it comes down to JetBlue, when it comes down to Southwest, there's just so many different airlines out there that are being negatively affected by the overall news of COVID and how it's increasing in cases. So just make sure that you stay informed, you do your part in being aware of what's causing it to push down, push up, and again, getting one step closer to your overall goal. So I wanted to provide you with an overall update on the day. Again, it is a little bit more on the upsetting side, but $370 of loss. I at least did my part in keeping my losses small in comparison to making sure that when I do have green days, in comparison to yesterday, I nearly made $1,000. I think I made $991. So I'm excited to see what tomorrow has to offer, and we'll follow up then. So I appreciate you guys' time. I really hope that we earned your thumbs up. Feel free to share your thoughts about what you think will happen to the overall airline industry. Do you think that it's bound to recover right away, or do you think that things will only get worse before they get better? Let me know in the comment section. I appreciate you guys' time. Don't forget to stay connected and join our free Facebook group. That's going to be our first link down below. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.